Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Start
Another episode.
Start this podcast off. Happy birthday to Jason Tatum. St. Louis born and raised. Best young player in the game. To me personally, especially when you factor in not just offense, but the defensive side of the floor. The best shot creator in the Eastern Conference besides Kevin Durant. Happy birthday to JT, baby, from the 314. Lou, stand up. Let them know.
Get your shout out in.
I'm gonna say it. Let them know. Let them know. 314. We in here. We in here in the NBA and on the pod. Let them know.
I ain't mad at it all. Happy birthday, Jason Tatum. Current Celtic. Happy 24. Happy Mamba year, man. I hope it's a great one. More buckets are on the way. It's crazy to think that he's 24, and I'm old enough to I'm old enough to remember the he's only 19 era of Twitter. It's like that dude is gonna be 60 years old, and people are gonna still say he's only 19. All right, guys, settle down.
Grown man.
Yeah. But I will say it's dope to see him kind of develop into the superstar player that he is. Right, entering the league as a teenager, but now blossoming into a franchise player. And even though you can sit here and say, okay, we all knew he would be great, that happens to a lot of guys that don't end up panning out. And so to know that he was one of the top picks, to Duke, did what he had to do, and now still the Celtics, still the same franchise. Happy birthday, professional scorer, as I say, world-class bucket getter. And so I know Celtics fans are happy. Right, and I'm sure people from St. Louis are also happy as well. Happy birthday, Jason Tatum, man. Happy birthday. But you mentioned young players, and there's another young player who has been going off. There's another young player that has been spazzing. There's another young player that came out earlier this season and said, "I'm top 5 point guards in this league." And to be honest with you, I think he might have shorted himself when he said that. And that brother is Ja Morant. Ja Morant is special, bro. Morant is special. I'm not... Man. I know sometimes we do rankings and versus appreciation, stuff like that, but all I can say right now, Ja Morant is special, bro. Is he the best point guard in the league right now?
Right now, yes.
We gonna jump the gun? We gonna get right into it? He the best point guard in the league right now?
Right now. The key word is right now, yes.
I know. Right now.
Yeah, right now. I mean, but you know me, it's a difference when we talk about right now and then overall. But right now, of course. And right now he should be competing for that MVP as well. DeMar DeRozan has been a top 5 player damn near the entire NBA season. Is DeMar DeRozan a top 5 player overall? That's a different story. But the same thing with Ja Morant. Ja Morant right now is the best point guard in the world right now. Is he the best point guard overall? That's probably a different story, but or it could be the same. Or it could be the same, depending on who you ask.
Everybody say, depending on who you ask. Some people think the time is now. You know what I'm saying? Some people think that he's the best point guard in the league right now in the entire league. But you know how I get down. I think winning obviously matters, but when you talk about literally where we're at today and what he's doing with the Grizzlies, you think about who the second best player on the Grizzlies is versus, who. And obviously the Grizzlies are great. Don't get me wrong, but when you start to compare rosters and when you start to go one by one, regardless of how well the team is playing, but it's just crazy. It's crazy, man. Giving out 50 burgers. I think that was the first 50 piece in Grizzlies history, which is low key wild in a sense to really think about. And I'm just happy. Listen, the biggest reason why I'm happy for Ja Morant is because he came out and told the world that he thought that he was top 5 point guards. And do you know what he did after saying that? He went out and proved it. Yeah. It wasn't just all right, I feel this way, so now, what I'm saying? It wasn't awesome, look at my resume. It wasn't awesome, all right, look what I done did. He came out with a statement, said what he had to say, and said, all right, whether y'all believe me or not, cool. Here's what I'm about to do. And now we talk about him being in the MVP conversation. Now we possibly talk about him being in the top 5 players in the world conversation, if we really want to have that dialogue. It's a case can be made. And I don't think it's wild to think that,
No, definitely a case can be made about Ja Morant. Like I said, a case can be made. He's the MVP this year. it's up in the air. Like, to be honest, you got Giannis, you got Joel Embiid, you got DeMar DeRozan, you got Cole Jokic, you got Ja Morant. So it just depends on like what do you factor in? Like, are you factoring the eye test? Are you factoring the talent the portion of the game? Or are you factoring, the winning in all three? Kind of that's kind of how you got to do it. But like you look at advanced analytics and stats, Nikola Jokic, it says that he's the best offensive player in the NBA, and also says that he's the best defensive player in the NBA, which is crazy to think about. But if you're that type of like voter for MVPs, there's going to be voters that look at that. Like, but Ja Morant's here. Ja Morant is definitely a top 5 point guard in the world. Ja Morant definitely is the best point guard in the world right now. Top 5 player. I do not know about that, but like I said, it is a difference when we talk about right now and we talk about overall, because last time I checked, number 30 in Golden State still exists. Last time I checked, number 11 in Atlanta still exists. Last time I checked, Kyrie Irving still exists. So it depends on like what are you really value. But that's what I said. Season to season, if you're just basing things on, things are going to change. But overall, that's how I look at it. I look at season to season. Like season to season, some people can make an argument that like LeBron James, if you look at everybody else, he may not be a top 5 player in the game based on this season. But that's just the regular season. You know what I'm saying? It's different things that really factor. You can't really factor it in just one season overall. If you do that, next thing you know, you got people hollering like before the season started that Julius Randle's the top 25 player in the world based on just one crazy season. So that's why I never try to get into that like, oh, one season like this and that. Nah.
No, I'm with you, but I think when we talk about right now, I think as you mentioned, right now, those two words are very, very, very important. Right? No one is comparing legacies. No one is comparing Mount Rushmores and all that set for this conversation. Right now, today, Ja Morant, one of the most exciting players in all of basketball. And before I dive into that point, I want to acknowledge something. I think someone asked on Twitter, us like, where was Tim Duncan at in like the Mount Rushmore or whatnot? And my response to that person, because I forgot most skilled big of all time. And my response to that, like, where was Tim Duncan in our Mount Rushmore? But they said in the top 5. That was a tweet. And my response to that would be...
They were shocked.
Right.
Both of us didn't have them in the top 5.
Right. Well, my response to that would be, on Mount Rushmore, we only get 4. And so maybe Tim Duncan could have been number 5. Or we said it was Mount Rushmore, so hey. But yeah, that's what I want to say.
I want you, because if we talk about right now, you talking about like best point guard. You said Ja Morant's the best point guard in the world right now. What about best player at this? Is Ja Morant? That's the real question. Because like everybody's talking about like best point guard right now. The real question is Ja Morant the best player in the world right now? That's the real question. Not point guard. Point guard is like right now. Yeah, the way he's been playing. Yeah, that's easy. Check it off. I said that 2 weeks ago before the 52 happened. Like, we can check that off. That's easy. Best point guard in the world right now. What about, is Ja Morant the best player in the world right now? That's what I want to hear. Couple things
off your statement. I'm going to answer you. One, it's definitely not easy. I won't get that carried away and sit here and say that Ja Morant is ahead of Steph for best point guard in the world. It definitely ain't easy.
Right now?
Even if
some things are just
easy. It's still Stephen Curry here. I'm not.
DeMar DeRozan this year has been a top 5 player in the world. That's easy to me. This season. That's easy to me.
But that statement is solo. That statement is like, okay, we figure out 4 of the players, whatnot. By you saying that Ja Morant is best point guard, we're also saying that he is better than Stephen Curry. Whether I agree with that is one thing. Right. And
the way he's playing, not overall.
I'm with you if you're saying he is. I'm with you on that. I'm not going to react crazy to that because of the way he's playing. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it's easy. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's a no-brainer. I can't sit here and say like, oh, it's definite. Like if I ask 100 people, I'm expecting 100 Ja's. And not to say that expectations from other people matter to me, but like I'm also not saying, oh yeah, of course. No doubt about it. But I'm going to answer your second question. Is Ja Morant the best player in the world right now?
Got to throw that in because people go crazy.
That's the title of this episode. What are we, 12 minutes in? And that, usually, for those of you that don't know, it takes us a good little while to establish titles for these episodes. But
talk about it.
We got one for y'all. We got one for y'all early in the episode. Is Ja Morant the best player in the world right now? We got to think backwards. Let's make life a little bit easy. Kevin Durant's injured. I know as of the time of this going out,
today,
he'll be coming back. For all we know, he might drop a 40 burger to remind people like us the audacity of even asking this question. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Regular season is different, bro.
Right.
That's why I never get caught. That's why overall it's different. We talk about regular season. A lot of things happen in regular season. Like, okay.
So, whatever you do, Kevin Durant, we know who you are. You know what I'm saying? We're not getting too crazy.
Best player on the planet.
Right, we know.
Best
We
player
just
on the
have this
planet.
conversation right now before the game happens.
Yeah.
You got Giannis. No, I'm going to say no to speed pass. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm going to say no. Just because I don't want to get too excited, right? I don't want to get too and blow everything out of proportion. I think, criticizing myself, say that he's the best point guard in the world right now. Even that is tiptoeing, but I don't want to get too nasty and say, but and not say that he can't. I mean, he might get active in these playoffs and just go bananas, and then
who knows?
Because crazy.
Because Ja Morant feels like he was the best point guard damn near coming into the season, and then like when you knock off the best point guard in the world overall in a playoff matchup to get into the playoffs, you feel a little bit different about yourself. And then you come out this season and it's just like, like you looking at the standings and you looking at your roster, got some dogs, great young talent. But you look at the Memphis roster and you look at the Golden State roster, Hall of Famer, like first overall pick on like you looking like, and my team is a couple games up under y'all? Let me tell you something.
Come on now. Come on.
Conversation has to be had. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like Ja Morant is proving like, seems like to me he's an any situation type of player. You pair him with a bunch of dogs and young players, they're gonna go at it. You pair him with a Jaylen Brown or Bradley Beal, you may be getting a championship. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what Ja Morant's looking to me. Like he's looking like he's cut from that any situation superstar cloth, not that, situational superstar cloth. But hey.
Yeah. And I ain't mad at it. I mean,
it's scary.
Look, one thing I'm not going to do no damn more is doubt Ja Morant. That's one thing I'm, if he feels like, all right, this team, could win a championship, hey, man, because a lot of folks, myself included, I can't say you, I'm going to say myself included. We always had that conversation of, the young, we got to give them a name. That young five, that young six, that group of players that often get talked about.
But his name, Luka Doncic, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I know. If you listen to No Pump Fakes, you already know who we talking about. You feel me? But his name,
he got doing the playoffs this year. He got doing the playoffs though.
Does he though? It depends if we talking about that young five or that young six. If we're talking about Zion, because if we talking about that young five, I'm with you, right? Yeah. But if Zion's name was in that six, then Ja. Any conversation with Zion Williamson, Ja name need to be in it. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
Now, whichever one you want, cool, but ain't no, like, because Zion was the sixth man of that, that young five, and it was the clear sixth man. Like, if one of those dudes dropped off, Zion is next in line. No doubt about it. Ain't nobody compete with him. Now, no. they're no. Ja, you know what I'm saying? You got two solid, you got a good bench of.
And that's one of the reasons why I can't sit up and say he's the best player in the world, because like I still got to see him do it like as of right now. Like some people are saying, because I got to see him doing the playoffs. Like I really got to see him. Like I've seen Jason Tatum do it. I've seen even Luka Doncic, even though he's lost in the first round, but it's like having big like time playoff performance and stuff like that. Like I've seen him show. I've seen Donovan Mitchell do it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see it. You know what I'm saying? Because the regular season, that's what I said. That's why the regular season is something different. We talk about MVP. We can talk about him being the MVP, talk about being the best point guard in the world right now. But we know like the playoffs is where like legends are made. So we gonna find out.
And you know what too? I also want to see him win in the playoffs, right? Because he's had moments, right, in playing games. In the playoffs, but to win, same case with Luka, right? We done seen, you
gotta win too.
Some nice games. You gotta win now. You know what I'm saying? And look, the only reason why that we got to continue to put pressure on these players is because I feel like we know what they're capable of, and if we're really going to put them in that tier, right, in that bracket of, you're not like everybody else. Yeah. Only way that really happens is if you win series, not games. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It ain't cute to just lose 4-2 in the first round. Win a series.
We saw what Trae Young did last year. I'm just that brother quiet all the doubters,
especially on the road. Especially on the road.
Like it's no more like people finally. That's why it was like, oh, like who should be in the All-Star game? And the Atlanta Hawks was like playing bad. Everybody's like, no, Trae Young still, because we know what he capable of. Like when things are right. So it's just kind of like same thing with Ja Morant. Like we know Ja Morant is here. We know that he's as of right now, or maybe even by the season end, he's probably been the best point guard in the league this season. But it's just like in the playoffs, none of that shit matters. Everything starts over. Because that's usually a time where everybody was talking about Giannis, everybody was talking about this player and that, and then the king had to arrive. You know what I'm saying? Like when Kevin Durant hasn't arrived. People love to talk about the regular season. That's why I said don't get so caught up on the regular season. Like and that was Giannis' big thing and his big hurdle. Like in the regular season, people were calling him the best player in the world. Then he got to the postseason, it was just like he wasn't showing up. And then until last year, it was just like, all right, he arrived. And even this year, still people are going to be like, want to see it. Like, let's see it. Let's see when the East is healthy. Like everybody's got this and that. Now let's see it. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to think though that like even though all those guys, the young guys, have had great playoff success, have any of them been this high in MVP consideration before? I know Devin Booker this season has at one point. Obviously now he's in health and safety protocols, but like with Jason, with Trae, with Spider, like they've all spazzed in the playoffs. But during the regular season, have we ever said like, or have we ever even considered they might be the best player in the world?
Luka came into last season with a lot of hype and expectations. I picked him to win the MVP because I thought he was going to have the narrative and the stats, but he just didn't have the team portion. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as Luka and that's what people haven't even been talking about. Luka went on a.
I was just getting ready to say we can do it right now. We can do it right now.
Luka is just that's what I'm saying. Like that's why we gotta calm it down a little bit. Like what Ja Morant is doing is special. But like that boy that we shouted out, happy birthday to in the beginning of the episode, and the other boy in Dallas is still here, and it's still here. So it's just like
they all are.
Yeah,
really, all of them.
But been here like very much longer in a way, especially having success in the playoffs and kind of like, it's just like being bigger. And then, like I said, Jason Tatum is a two-way player, both sides of the basketball court. Luka Doncic is like runs the entire show. So it's. That's what I'm saying. We gotta.
Devin Booker is fresh off a finals.
That's true. Yeah.
Appearance, as well as just being in somewhat consideration for MVP. Trae Young is fresh off, an Eastern Conference Finals run. So it wasn't too. I know obviously the season was a little different now, but it wasn't too long ago. I don't know. This is a great problem to have though, right? I think this is a great issue. Is the fact that it is so challenging to choose just one or two. Like this.
Go ahead. Well, I'll make it even more challenging. Rank them. That's what it really comes down to, because we both agree that Ja Morant, the best player in the world, is not,
I don't want to do this on Jason's birthday.
Not overall. You don't do this on Jason's birthday. What you mean? Because he gonna be at the top. He damn sure better be. Like let's not get caught in the moment. Let's not get this. Let's not get disrespectful and caught in the moment. But
all right, there we go. So that's another thing too, right?
Stop pump faking.
No, I'm not pump faking. If you're gonna present me the question of is Ja Morant the best player in the world right now, that means if I had to guess, there's some thought in your mind that he might be. Would I be correct in thinking that?
No, that was never a thought of mine.
Do you think that Ja Morant has a case to be made that he's the best player in the world right now?
No.
Okay.
I think he has the best. Like I said, the best point guard in the world is easy. The real question is best player in the world case, because that's where it gets like. Okay. That's what I was feeling like. That's where it gets like, that's a conversation. Like, because I felt that the best point guard in the world right now is easy. The conversation is he's the best player in the world.
Cool.
That's why I said that.
Cool. So you think Jason Tatum is better than Stephen Curry?
Yeah. Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Right now, yeah. I think Luka Doncic is better than Stephen Curry right now. Yeah. I think Ja Morant's better than Stephen Curry right now. But, keyword, overall, I'm still rolling with Stephen Curry. And I think people don't really like understand what I'm like. It's going to be people that listen to this and they're going to be like very confused, and there's going to be some people that actually get it. But you have to understand, like, people have said that LeBron James for years during the regular season, like he's not the best player in the world. They was trying to claim Kawhi. They was trying to claim Kevin Durant. They was trying to claim Giannis. Just for everybody, I was like, all right, well, regular season. Just for LeBron James to show, like, yo, I'm the best player in the world still. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the same thing what I feel about these young guys. Like, it's different in the regular season being better than somebody than being overall better than somebody. Like, I can sit up and say, like, I can't be oblivious to the fact that some players are going to have better regular seasons than other players. That tends to happen. But when we talk about overall, no, it's still Stephen Curry. That's why when I was telling people to pump the brakes for years ago, when they were talking about Pascal Siakam was better than Paul George because Paul George was having a terrible regular season. And then it's just like, I was like, no, Paul George is still better overall. Don't get caught up in just like guys having a bad regular season. It tends to happen. Or have another guy having a better regular season than another player. It tends to happen sometimes. But overall, it's different.
I think the hype is very important because even going back to your Kawhi example, I was one of those people who I wasn't saying he was going to be better than LeBron. I was just saying conversations were going to have to happen. And I remember people were so mad at me by saying that. But if you really think about that, right, and you really put it all into perspective, right, going back to that terrible series they had against the Nuggets, but before that, right, had they won, Kawhi would have been a back-to-back Finals MVP, right? You won it in 2019, and then had he won the bubble, that would have been back-to-back. He would have won 3 chips. He would have won 3 Finals MVPs on 3 different teams. If I had to guess, he probably would have had to beat LeBron not once, but twice in order for that to happen. But he and the Clippers ended up losing against the Nuggets, and all that is forgotten. So my point in saying that is the hype in the moment is always going to be there, right? But until the playoffs hit, that's literally the make or break. And to your point too, right? That's really where the judgment should really happen. Obviously, right now we're in early March, so we got to talk about what's happening now. But once the playoffs hit around and that elimination starts knocking at your door,
you can enjoy the regular season and the hypeness and the excitement, and still understand that, like, yo, Kevin Durant's still the best damn player in the world. Giannis is still a top 3 player in the world. Stephen Curry is still a top 3 player. LeBron James is still a top 5 player. You can still, like, I can still, there you go right there. Like, and Ja Morant has probably had a better regular season than all those players I just mentioned. Maybe not Giannis, depending on who you ask, but like, there we go right there. He's had a better regular season than all those guys. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, even Giannis, and Stephen Curry. So that's what I'm saying.
That's a hard 4.
Yeah, that's a hard
tough 4.
That's a hard 4. Better regular season. That's why I had
you even mentioned Jokic. Yeah, that's a.
But that's why Embiid. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about Embiid though, because Embiid we talking about right now. That's another player. Like that's we talking about Ja Morant. That's really what we should be. Is Joel Embiid the best player in the world right now? That's what we really should be like.
It's scary, man.
So that's what I'm saying. Man. We talk about Ja, but that's another, like, Joel Embiid is like. That's a real, like, damn, like, he may have a real, like, chance. Like, I just threw Ja in there to ask that question, but, like, Joel Embiid really may have a real chance at that. Like.
Are you trying to bait me? Man, so I just threw that question just to see what, type of time he was on.
Yeah. I mean, a little bait. You bite.
I mean, if you want to get spicy, Joel's teammate, if you really want to have that conversation, could have a debate. He just been, in a tough situation. But we seen what the hell he been doing his first 3 games.
A tough situation. My God, you play with
what you mean?
Kyrie. Like.
No, okay, but you know what I mean, though. You're looking at it from just a basketball situation. You know what I mean by, like,
not want to be there, like.
Right, yeah, it wasn't just, like flowers and shit. It was, damn, is anyone playing? No, let me not go backwards. But yeah, just the idea of, like, hey, you got 2 teammates, but I'm going to tell you what, though. They better win. They better get out that first round. Yo, the East is very tough.
It's tough.
The East is very, very tough because you could make a case that the 2 best players in the world may be on the same team, but at the same time, they also might lose in the first round. Not saying that they are, but let's say they get that 5 seed, right? There's 5 teams in the East that have a legitimate shot.
I told you, anybody can go to the Eastern Conference Finals, but the 3 most complete teams is the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks in the East, and
Philly?
In the East. No.
You said 3, right?
I mean, and the Phoenix Suns in the West. Even without.
Oh, you mean three total teams in the league?
Total in the league, but in the East, the most complete teams is Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Eastern Conference Finals was played yesterday.
Because the only game I remember in the East was the
Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm thinking of the Sixers and the Knicks.
No, Milwaukee Bucks.
I'm like, hey, good brother.
Don't be surprised. If those guys don't match up against each other, like early on, like in the second round or something, if the Miami Heat's the first seed and the Milwaukee Bucks are the fourth seed, don't be surprised. That's what I'm saying. That's the only way. But don't be surprised if they're not match up. If seeding works out the way we wanted to work out, don't be surprised if they go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, the only thing that's so. All right, so you talked about Milwaukee and Miami, right?
Yeah.
So let me address the other three teams, right? So I mean, actually, now that I think about it, they probably all have the same thing. Is we're not clear on their overall identity / they haven't proved that they can do things together, if that makes sense.
No chemistry, no
chemistry. So Chicago, Chicago,
Brooklyn Nets.
doing well and whatnot, but they don't have the guys that have proven that they can win in the playoffs. So there's that. The Nets, obviously, you got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, two of the most clutch players in the league.
Still waiting on Ben to play.
Right, still waiting on Ben. The chemistry isn't there yet. No one's doubting those two, Katie and Kai, but chemistry is chemistry. Don't care who you are. Philly, James Harden, Joel Embiid. A lot of people gave you shit for saying that they might be the most skilled big guard duo of all time, right? But I still think that they have an opportunity to win the NBA Finals. But again, they haven't proven. I'm not going to get crazy with 3 games. Just like, look, if there's anything we learned this season, is that what we see on paper does not matter anymore, right? Like, if we think, it's funny, had the Nets not gotten James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, we would think that James Harden being with Joel Embiid was the greatest thing ever on paper. Like, what can get better than James Harden and Joel Embiid? Well,
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons.
Wait. Let me introduce you to an even crazier concept. So it's really just gonna be about time. But throughout the 3 games that I watched with those 2 guys, they look ready. They look excited. They look like the time is now. I think they both realize the moment that they're in. Right? I think they both realize, like, all right, now's our shot. Like, we are 2 dudes who can give out 40 in our sleep, and we both want to be here. We both want to win. But you know what I need, though? I need a Nets Sixers first round matchup. I need a Nets Sixers first round matchup. I don't even just need a play. I need a.
It's a lot of narratives getting destroyed. A lot of narratives getting built. Because Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Don't let James Harden go to Philly and then beat the Nets. Like, my goodness.
Who does that look bad on, though?
That's gonna look bad on Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets.
Does it?
Yes, because Kevin Durant and Kyrie been there. Kyrie's been there 3 years. Kevin Durant is the best player in the world, and it's just like it was bad enough last year. He lost in the second round. I know the situation, I know the circumstances, but when you have that best player in the world, mantle and title, things get elevated a little more. Ask LeBron James that. He knows. So I can't have no really excuses for Kevin Durant losing in the first round. And it's just like you got a whole healthy roster. Like, I don't give a damn who you facing in the East. Like, come on now. Like, that's what I'm saying. So it's just like it's gonna look bad on the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant if that happens. I don't think it's gonna happen because I don't think they're gonna match up. Because I think
all 3 of those teams, man. All 3 of those teams. Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Philly. Whichever one of those teams. What?
I don't know about the Bucks because the Bucks at the end of the day, Giannis got a championship, so it's just kind of like
ain't nobody gonna put pressure on you. Like, if he loses, ain't nobody gonna say all right, he a bust, whatever. Like you said, he still got a chip. But I'm saying though, don't let the Bucks face the Sixers. No, all the way around. Don't let the Bucks face the Sixers, and then the Sixers lose. Don't let the Bucks face the Nets, and the Nets lose. I think if the Bucks lose, people aren't really going to say anything. But if the Bucks win, well, you might. But
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something.
Well, I mean, hey, everybody healthy. You know
that's all. That's all I'm hoping for. Knock on wood. And that's why. That's why I want the Lakers to get in. And if they could just get it healthy, let me tell you. And Anthony Davis comes back. Like, let me tell you something. Don't let it be a matchup of the Warriors and the Lakers in the first round. And Don't let the Warriors. The Warriors probably. I don't know, bro. It'll be interesting. Don't let the lower seed beat the higher seed because it's gonna be a lot of.
There's gonna be a lot of what? Like what?
Things that get said.
Oh, you're saying don't let the Lakers beat the Warriors.
Don't let the Lakers beat the Warriors. There's a lot of things. It may get crazy.
But it's so funny, man. Because you know what? That would actually be unfortunate. That would be unfortunate. And the reason why I say that is because that would probably be the worst 8-versus-1 accomplishment in the history of basketball. The Lakers beating the Warriors in the first round. Because you talk about, you use the term media darling with Steph, right? If the Warriors go out and lose, people might say, well, they lost to the Lakers. They were supposed to. How are the Warriors supposed to be a team that has LeBron James and Anthony Davis? The same team that people were shitting on all season long. And on the flip side, if the Lakers go out and beat the Warriors in the first round, even though they're 8 seed and got shitty ass chemistry and beating a number 1 seed, people would say, well, it's LeBron James. I thought this is what he was supposed to do. He got Anthony Davis. This is what he's supposed to. It amazes me what some players are quote unquote supposed to do versus what some players are just, well, I mean, certain situations aren't really the best. I don't want to hear that shit. If you're a 1 seed and you lose in the first round, clip. It's curtains. Go win. Like,
that's facts.
But, some people get the benefit of the doubt. And hey, who knows? I mean,
that's facts. And you heard in my prediction, and I love what Ja Morant is doing. I love what the Memphis Grizzlies is doing. But I see it coming.
What?
Upset. Get the upset ready. I see it
coming.
For Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think they're going to win I don't think they're going to win a first round matchup. I just got a feeling they're not going to win a first round matchup.
Who would they play? Do you have
Right now, they're the 3rd seed, right?
So they'll play the 6th seed?
Denver Nuggets. I think that's what I'm saying. That's what we talk about overall. I think that's what we talk about. That's when we talk about best player right now, best player overall. Jokic's impact is just different, bro. Like, he can slow that shit down and he can play it. He can slow that shit all the way down. It can be a low scoring game. So like he's such a great player, like offensively, where he can control the tempo, control the pace, getting a low block, like you got the double team on. And then let me tell you something, Jamal Murray may be coming back. Michael Porter Jr. may be coming back. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could get.
Well, if that happens, that's different. That's different.
That ain't different.
But yes, it is. That's a factor. And now if we want to sit here and talk about the team the way they're constructed now,
I'm talking about right now, or even if that happens.
But, okay, but you can't say, Jamal. Like, obviously, if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are coming back, that changes people's opinions. Yeah, they're not the damn 12th guy on the roster.
True, like, but it's like they got to come back in and like get ready and stuff like that. Basketball shape, that takes time. That's all I'm saying. Like, it ain't just.
No, you're right. You're right.
You could drop Kawhi off right now, like, and if Kawhi came and was the first round, in the first round playoffs, and you just drop Kawhi there, like, he's not gonna be ready. Like,
that's fair. You're right.
Tuned up. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's a little different.
No, you're right. Wasn't there a tweet? Who was it? Is Ja Morant the most exciting player in basketball that we've seen in years?
It's the hype is fun. It's excitement. That's what it was.
What was the word though? Was it exciting, entertaining?
No. He was the most. Let me look this up. He was the most exciting. He was the most exciting player since I think 2 players entered the league.
I'm assuming LeBron James.
I don't even think it was LeBron.
Ooh, Steph. D Rose. I mean, I would say too though, like, times are a little different now in terms of like what goes viral, how people can consume content. Like, Ja is basketball sports media. Like, Ja is beloved by every single person. It is impossible to hate Ja, especially when you know his overall story, being drafted, to a smaller market team, staying there, embracing the city, being good, being extremely athletic. He's not like ruining the game in terms of like, he's doing stuff that I feel like a lot of people might be able to aspire to do as well. There's very limited reasons to hate Ja Morant. And so because of that, when you combine all of those things, it makes sense as to why someone might feel that he's the most entertaining player we've seen in a while. Like, in what way would someone be like, you know what, I don't really rock with this dude. Why not?
Here we go. Ja Morant is the most exciting player to enter the league since Vince and Kobe Bryant. Not the best, but the most electrifying.
See, okay, read that one more time.
Ja Morant is the most exciting player to enter the league since Vince Carter and Kobe Bryant. Not the best, but the most electrifying. So in terms of excitement,
That's not true.
That's definitely not true because we got three guys that are going to retire. 2 already in the top 10 of all time. Another guy on his way is Steph Curry, in my opinion. Some people feel like he's already a top 10 player of all time. But we got LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry. Like that's played in this era. Like excitement.
I wouldn't say KD. I wouldn't say KD. And also too, all right, so it all depends on what this person means, like time-wise. Because I can make the case that it's Zion. Like, if we're talking about, like, enter the league, as if to say hype, as if to say what people are looking forward to watching, how soon we forget what the hell Zion was doing at Duke?
But look at the LeBron and Stephen Curry. Like, exciting. If you want, you could even throw Luka in there. In terms of just overall attention. It's
and then when you add in the international global aspect, hey.
It's like exciting. It's just like Ja Morant just became this year. Like he's progressed every single season he's been in the NBA. Like even if you just want to give the benefit of the doubt, this person was talking about like entering the league. Even enter the league. When LeBron James entered the league, he was more excited. When Zion Williams entered the league, he was more excited. You know what I'm saying? Like entering the league. If that's I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But like even entering the league, he's not even in that category.
I'm gonna give you another person. You wanna know who?
Derrick Rose?
No. Alonzo Ball. Yeah, do you remember the hype?
If you're talking about entering, yeah.
The idea of like this overall hype of like, yo, everyone's watching this person. We gotta make sure, dog. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
But I get what they're saying though in the words that they're using, electrifying,
stuff like
exciting. That, I get that, the D-rolls. And again, it's all based off highlights and stuff like that. So
hype, you know
right.
What it is.
Yeah, it makes sense. The league pass. OGs that
social
media,
sure. Like he's top 3 right now for social media engagement, NBA posts and stuff like that. It's LeBron Curry, now it's Ja Morant.
Yeah.
You understand it? Just like the year before that, it was like Stephen Curry, LeBron, Luka, and the year before that, it was like Stephen Curry, Luka, and LeBron. So I get it, but even LaMelo Ball last year, have we even not forgot like LaMelo Ball?
That was another name I was gonna say.
LaMelo Ball was on everything. So it's just kind of like. Let's pump the brakes. But I will say this, though, like, about Ja Morant and LaMelo Ball and Trae Young. They all came into the league with doubters. And I think people tend to forget that, like, what these guys are doing in the league. A lot of people question, they said Ja Morant is a great athlete. He would probably never be able to shoot. They said Trae Young is a great player, but he's too small. They said LaMelo Ball, he's an IG hooper. All these guys proved everybody wrong, and all 3 are about to be the face of the league when it comes to guard play. So I just want to shout out all 3 of them because we talking about Ja Morant right now. We talked about Trae Young. We talk about LaMelo Ball. But all 3 of those guys are about to be the next face of the league when we talk about guard play. When we talk about the top 3 point guards, I don't consider Luka Doncic as a point guard. So before people go crazy and stuff like that, that's just me personally. But we talk about 3 point guards, real point guards. Ja Morant, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball are going to be the face for the next 10 plus years in the NBA.
Save that as a clip, Scott. Write it down. Remember, you asked, what clips? There you go.
Write it down. That's the facts.
Yeah, but I'm with you though. I think we're living in an era of some extremely, extremely talented point guards, and it's low key been like that for a while. I'm old enough to remember when Chris Paul and Deron Williams were getting compared back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And it was just those 2. Now there is a list, right? There is a line. There is debate. There are a lot of dudes that have a case to be made that there really should be. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look outside the top 5 point guards, even that is like, damn, we forgot about shit. You know what I'm saying? So we in an era now where, point guards is a wave. So yeah, definitely shout out to Ja, man. It's like, hopefully he stays in Memphis. Don't want to jump the gun too much. You started off the episode wishing Jason Tatum a happy birthday, which I know, talk about players that may or may not be in their current uniform for much longer. But I think it's so important, for young players that are in smaller markets to really get their flowers, right?
Embrace. And all those three players I mentioned, like Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball, Trae Young, these are small market teams. Maybe not cities when you talk about excitement and you go to and have fun and stuff like that. But like these are small market teams and they all got a legit face of the franchise. Trae Young's probably going to be there a long time.
Oh, yeah.
John Morant's probably going to be there a long time. LaMelo Ball's probably going to be there a long time. And it's just great to see that the excitement that they bring, they're electrifying that, it's going to make free agents want to come and play in Memphis, play in Atlanta, play in Charlotte. And that hasn't been seen in a long time when we talk about small market teams. So that's another shout out to those three. And it's, they're special. They're a special group. Very, very special. It's going to be debates for years on these three. I'm telling you, like, they're here.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anybody else. No, not really. I mean, I think you hit it right on the head. Those three. Ja, Trae, LaMelo. I mean, I know people go back and forth about Luka, but I mean, you mentioned, position wise, it's a little bit different in terms of how we address him. What else? There's another team or player that I wanted to talk to you about. It wasn't Jaylen Brown because that's too random. Was someone else? Was it Bradley?
Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I don't know. Some. I don't know. But yeah, going back and hopefully I remember. But going back to the Eastern Conference, right? If there's one player in the entire Eastern Conference without naming the best player on each team, who would you say is going to be the biggest and most important X factor? So can't be KD, it can't be Joel Embiid or James Harden. But, who is the one guy that you feel like, all right.
In the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference?
Eastern Conference. Yeah. How about you do the East? I'll try and do West. Yeah.
Okay. For the Eastern Conference, one guy. Can I give you two?
You can.
I'll give you two. Miami Heat, Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero is the best shot creator in the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat will go as far as Tyler Hero's impact on that team during the playoffs. We saw it in the bubble, how special he was, how unguardable he was. I feel the same way this year because, like, Jimmy Butler is the best player. Jimmy Butler is great, but Jimmy Butler is also responsible to do so much things other than scoring. So sometimes his scoring is going to take a dip. So it's going to be up to Tyler Hero to really create offense, especially coming off the bench and then, in the fourth quarter as well, and giving Jimmy Butler, like, a break to not have to feel like he has to do everything. I think he's going to be the X factor for the Miami Heat. Another guy, Tyrese Maxi. I told people before the season started, I told people during the season, like, you do not trade Tyrese Maxi. He was playing a point guard position with the Philadelphia Sixers, but now it's just like he's a combo guard. So that means he can play both the point guard and the shooting guard position, but he's naturally a scorer. He's naturally a two guard. Now you have James Harden, a guy, one of the greatest offensive weapons, offensive talents in history of the game, who specializes in passing the ball. He's going to get so much easy looks with James Harden attacking the rim and Joel Embiid attacking the rim and people double teaming Joel Embiid and people even double teaming James Harden. He has to be very, very important for the Philadelphia Sixers if they want to not just get out the first round, but really make a deep playoff run. I know he's only 21 years old, but his impact is very, very important. It's no longer Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tobias Harris, people talking about the big three. No, scratch it. It's James Harden, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah. And I think, having James Harden, I think I mentioned this before on a previous episode, but it'll make Tyrese's job a heck of a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? He'll be able to free up and get more opportunities and things like that. The pressure won't be the same. Having even more experience, in the playoffs and everything like that, it's definitely going to help. They're definitely going to need him, right? They're definitely, those other three that you mentioned, they have some more experience in the league. Joel, Tobias, and James. But with him being a young guy, he's still going to be, expected to produce night in and night out. And so Tyler Hero, that's a good one. That's a very, very good one too. Him, we obviously saw what he did in the bubble and stuff. And we obviously already know the Miami Heat, that core has made the finals. But if they really want to, get active and really make a strong push, Tyler's definitely going to have to be one of those guys for them. So on my end, on the West,
got two.
How's it about? You want two?
I gave you two. You got to give me two back.
So, it's funny. I was thinking about saying Russell Westbrook, but I'm not going to. So two, I would say honestly, number one. All right, so one of the X factors that I feel coming out of the Western Conference is going to be Jordan Clarkson of the Utah Jazz. Right? So we know the Jazz, regular season team, people have made the jokes, all that. But in order for them to really beat certain teams, they're going to need that second guy that can put the ball in the basket. Right? They're going to need, a little bit more, just from obviously the overall team, but the pressure that we've seen Spada, the numbers that we've seen him have to put up, especially, I just keep thinking about that playoff series against the Nuggets was crazy. It was good to watch, but that type of basketball doesn't really win you championships unless your name is LeBron James. And so in order for them to separate themselves from the pack, they're going to need, another guy. So that's one, right? Got Jordan Clarkson from the Jazz. Number 2, DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns. Last year's finals was frustrating for the Suns. Obviously seeing how they lost. And someone told me too, like they some people obviously feel that the Suns can repeat as Western Conference champs, but also win the finals this year. But my thing is, whenever you say that, you have to acknowledge, right? What was the reason why they lost last year? Right? What was the problem as to why they didn't come out victorious? And after you identify that problem, ask yourself, did they fix it? Right? Did they fix the thing that caused them not to win? And to be honest with you, I don't think they did. And that's slowing down Giannis. They are a good basketball team. Devin Booker is still Devin Booker. I think Chris Paul is still going to be Chris Paul. But if stopping Giannis was your problem and you didn't fix it, I don't know if I can get on board and say that they, will necessarily repeat. Now, again, I mentioned DeAndre Ayton because if there is any plans to slow him down, the one person that's going to be involved and be probably the biggest piece of that puzzle is DeAndre Ayton. So that's why I would say he's one of my 2 X factors, not including obviously the certain best players on a given team. I would go with JC and DeAndre.
That's not bad. DeAndre Ayton got to show up this postseason. He got to show up big time, especially the deeper the Phoenix Suns go, if they go deep this year. So that's not really a bad option, but it's just kind of like, it's some people have been saying this, if you've been watching Phoenix Suns basketball this regular season, some people have been saying they've been getting the same impact with JaVale McGee that they be getting with DeAndre Ayton sometimes. So you're right. He has to be an X factor. And your next one is Jordan Clarkson. That's cool. I don't really mind that, but it's just like, I always say about the Utah Jazz, if Jordan Clarkson is your second best player come the postseason, that's a problem. So I feel like that could be the same story. A player that I was surprised you really didn't say, I thought you was going to say, was Andrew Wiggins. I thought you was going to say Andrew Wiggins for the Golden State Warriors, because I think that's a true guy that has to be the X factor. Like, he's been struggling as of late, but like, if he's going and he's like getting you 20 points per game and also defending at a high level, which he showed the capability of doing, the Golden State Warriors are a very, very dangerous team. So, but I ain't mad at it.
Facts. You want to do that's a good one, Andrew Wiggins, though. Especially if
no, we good. We
slide.
I'm giving out a lot of content.
Yeah,
giving y'all. Y'all not. I'm no pump fakes. Everybody, thank you for listening and subscribing and stuff like that. But I'm just be honest, like y'all not getting this nowhere else. Y'all not getting this nowhere else, and that's why you guys.
Facts. And like, it really is just a hoops and just straight basketball podcast. I know we might say it often or it's in the description, whatever. Like, no forced narratives, but like, it's not did you hear about so and so DMing another player? Like, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of another example. Where
just talk about the same teams over and over again. Like,
yeah, but yeah, that Wiggins one, that's a good point.
That's valid.
But yeah, I appreciate y'all as always for listening. Just some housekeeping items as we wrap up this episode. Of course, make sure you give our podcast 5-star rating. All right, if you rock with no pump fakes, bless with the 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. All right. Smash that like button. Leave a comment if you feel. Definitely make sure you hit the follow button. 5-star rating. Get active. 5-star rating on podcast. All right. We're going to see you on the next one. All right. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Theus McB. Make sure you go follow No Pump Fakes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.